Hey guys, I had this like little mini realization a little bit ago, and that is that when you justify yourself, when you are explaining yourself and explaining why your way of thinking is better, or your thinking or your experience that you've had is you're more righteous in your experience and in your view, that is an example of when you don't really believe it. Like justifying yourself. The reason that I kind of was thinking about this is because I was reading a YouTube comment, and it was in an Alan Watts video where he's talking about becoming the observer. And I was thinking about that because we talk about that, the Eckhart Tolle talks about that, becoming the watcher, detaching from the thoughts, detaching from the monkey mind. Everybody talked about this. It's in Buddhism. It's Vadim Zeland talks about it when he talks about waking up, and the Tao Te Ching. It's like, this has been something that a lot of people have talked about, and it's really disidentifying with your thoughts and emotions that you have. See, the way Vadim talks about it, or also Eckhart, you get so identified with your thoughts. He says you are not your thoughts. So you do not need to just play out all these, and get yourself in a twist basically because you are so identified with your thoughts. And it could be thoughts of suffering, thoughts of worry, thoughts of fear, it could be anything, but it's attached in his way that he describes it. It's like your pain body. It's like it's in your nervous system. It's residing there in an emotional space, which I definitely agree with. Now, Vadim, the way he talks about it is, he says that we have the two screens. We have the inner screen, which is that is our thoughts. That is just us swimming around and being totally immersed in our emotions. And then there's the outer screen, which is completely preoccupied with the outer reality, the 3D. And what we want to do is we want to shift our attention to between these two realities, these two screens, as he calls them in Tufti. And he's talking about the same thing. Because when you shift your attention to between, you're not too immersed outside, you're not too caught up in your own inner dialogue. Now you are waking up. Now you are accessing the power of now that Eckhart Tolle is talking about. And all of this to say, to bring it back around to, full circle, is whenever you are truly in between those two, screens, or whenever we are really detached from the mind and we are just entering this observer mode, we don't have this need. It's weird. It's like if you were able to tap into that, and I can do a more detailed video about it, and I will, about becoming the observer, you are not strung along anymore. You're not strung along and basically at the whim of the script, or at the whim of your thoughts, or being in a state of reaction, being reactive to your outer circumstances. You now have the agency, and you don't have to justify yourself anymore. It's like it's interesting because the justification is a symptom of being asleep, or being or not being present. And it's just an interesting little something that I noticed, and I wanted to bring it up because I think it's a great way to catch yourself. As soon as you're getting pulled, as soon as you're getting emotionally triggered, again, both of these they talk about this, but in my own words, that's what I would say. As soon as you're getting triggered by something around you, by something that you're thinking, you take a step back, you see yourself you identify in between, and that enters the observer, which I almost have a sensation of you're getting pulled out, and you could think of it behind you. That's what he talks about in Tufti. It's almost like you're in a video game and you can almost see yourself and see reality. That's how he says it in Tufti. But it's very experiential. It's very hard to describe with words, and that's probably close to the best I can do. I definitely can make a video though when I go over it in more detail, but essentially it is the sensation, the feeling of this is that you are just feeling like you're not identified in it anymore. It's like you're a character in a movie, but now you are the director, or now you are, the producer. You've stepped out of the film, of the play, and you are now observing your character. You are now able to, act in a completely detached manner, in a completely objective manner. And what do people do that do that? People that are action takers. These people don't have time to sit around, argue with people on forums or in the YouTube comments, talking about, oh, well, you're wrong because of this and blah, 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 blah. And basically they're so identified with their thoughts and so in their head that they have to do that. It's a compulsive need. That's where it becomes the distinction is, right? Because you can have some idea that you want to share. It could be even about political something, whatever. It could be any type of belief or something that you feel like you believe. But as soon as it has that compulsive kind of nature to it, where you have to I have to do this, or I have to, it's you see a lot of it, I feel like, with these really judgmental people that chill online, and pretty much all they have to do is just hate on people or call somebody out because of this, or somebody did this which wasn't virtuous, like virtual virtue signaling type behaviors. And the people that really are present to the moment, they don't have time for that. They simply don't put their attention on those things, because their attention is in between. Their attention is not just sunk in. You ever see people that are just hunched over into the computer screen like this? That's almost like a caricature of that, or like a physical manifestation of being immersed into the outer screen. Or if you get too bug-eyed, your eyes get wide up open, and you look like a deer in the headlights, because you're so basically hypnotized by the outer screen, the outer reality. It's no, you hold your presence. You hold this, a friend of mine, he called it holding your value, but I've heard it be described as holding your presence, just holding your awareness between the two screens, so that you're not, because the opposite of that is that you're am I this? Am I this? It's anxiety. It's I don't know what people think about me, or it could just be, your turmoil of your own thoughts going around about worrying about some future event, or, ruminating on the past. But yeah, guys, I hope this made sense. I know it was a little bit all over the place. I'm trying to express that these ideas have been around for such a long time, but we have these teachers which thankfully are, expressing them in a way which I feel like for us, our modern understanding, I don't know, it's a good way to understand it, a good way to break it down. I think Eckhart and Vadim Zeland both put it aptly. But yeah, John Kehoe also, he talks about witnessing, basically just being there, letting the thoughts play, but you don't identify with them. That's the power in this, is okay, yeah, I had a thought about this, but it's and that's what meditation gets to too. It's just observing the thoughts, The thing is, you will have bad thoughts. You can have bad days. You can let those emotions pass through you, but you don't have to identify with them. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go out. It's a nice day out. Gonna hit up the farm, get a little farm session going. We got some seeds, some perennials and shit. I don't really know much about farming and stuff, but we have a farm up here. My family does, and yeah, it's a nice day. Hope you guys are having a great day. If you found value in this, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. I'm gonna do a video about becoming the observer, and I think it'll be on point. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon.